All right, I'm going to call to order this Thursday, May 6th, 2021 meeting of the Springfield Historic Commission. Commissioners Walsh, Belton, Finn, and Kroll are present. If there's any other commissioners have not, I think I see everybody, so that's it. Commissioners Walsh, Belton, Finn, and Kroll. Let me just go over the COVID protocol here. In order to enable municipal governments to continue its important work during the COVID-19 pandemic while assuring both city employees and citizens can satisfy CDC social distancing guidelines, City of Springfield is providing public notice to conduct a public hearing, utilize remote technology. Copies of said petitions, text maps may be requested by email or phone. Email should be directed to the Office of Planning and Economic Development at @Allen, that's AALLEN @springfieldcityhall.com, or by calling 413-787-6020. To view the public hearing, Focus Springfield Community TV website. Public comment would be taken in 2 segments. The first public comment period will take place prior to the meeting discussion. The second public comment period will take place after the meeting and remain open for 24 hours after the meeting. To provide for public comment in writing, mail Springfield Historic Commission, 70 Tapley Street, Springfield, Mass. 01104, or email Allen @springfieldcityhall.com. To provide for public comment by voicemail, 413-750-3223. Messages received will be played at the Historic Commission hearing or at the continued hearing date. All commenters should state their name, address, and company or organizational affiliation in addition to items their comments pertain to. Voice messages received 24 hours before the hearing will be put into the record during the public hearing, and comments after the meeting will be entered on the continued hearing date. Voice messages are limited to 2 minutes. To request a reasonable accommodation and/or language service, please call 413-787-6020. And also, for those of you in attendance, we would like you all to state your name when it's your turn to talk. State your name, address, and company organizational affiliation and the item in which it pertains to. Okay, so we have some continued hearings. We have 393 Maple Street. That's the Gospel Power Church. Are the applicants here, petitioners here?
Mr. Wedderburn, your mic is muted.
Here we go. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Okay. So the last time we left off, you guys asked for us to provide some more detail and a more accurate rendering of what we're going to have for the ramp.
Well, materials, I think, Mark, we were asking for materials as well, because the drawing, you know, it just appears like the drawing would be a concrete structure, and I think that's not what you're doing. But go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
So I updated the drawing a little bit. I'm going to have to still ask. I'm going to share my screen.
Go ahead.
I'm going to have to still ask for some can you guys see the?
Yep, I can see it, Mr. Wedderburn. Go ahead.
Yes, no?
Yes.
Right, so I'm going to still have to add for you to use your imagination a little bit. We have some software limitation.
Okay.
Either way, I did some drawing in two different applications. So this is going to be iron rails, painted black, and the ramp will be pressure treated wood. The wood would be placed in this direction. Of course, they're going to be 5/4 board, is about 1 inch thick, and 5.5 inch wide. So that's basically how it's going to look structurally. All the supports or supporting members, structural members for the ramp will be according to national and state code. Whatever support, concrete support, or footing that we have to add will be done according to local and state code. The rails, I tried to represent them in another software here. I'll show you. So the attachment of the rail will be similar to this. You'll have bolted. You'll be able to bolt the rails onto the wood. Can you guys see that?
Yep. Like the picture didn't change, but I know what that's, we understand how that one will work. How is it going to be finished down under the, under the part that rises up? How are the sides going to be finished?
We're going to put lattice, vinyl lattice. Software limitation, it didn't allow me to do a vinyl lattice. I just made it all white below, but vinyl lattice as normally all porch and structures that you can imagine would have.
What color was the lattice? Do you propose for the lattice?
I'm proposing white.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I'm not sure if Pastor Duca would like to say something, but that's about it for me.
Okay. Who else is here?
Good evening, gentlemen. This is Reverend Duca from Gospel Power Church. I don't have anything to add, really. I was relying fully on Mark Waterburn to give us the accurate rendering. So I think that looks more like what we were imagining. Thank you.
Okay. Are there any commissioners have any questions for the petitioners?
I would like to recognize Commissioner Nardi is on the call.
Oh, excellent. Thank you.
Thank you. Assuming you can hear me okay.
Yep, I got you. Good. I can see you too, Al. Any questions for the petitioner?
I just wanted to revisit what we can see from the street.
Okay.
What's the view from the street on this? If I remember right, we're not seeing the whole side profile, correct? We're just seeing.
It's mainly the front. It'll be mainly from the front that you'll be able to see. Let me try to get that document that I had originally. 393.
Wasn't the front, we were going to just see the very beginning of the ramp and then it's just ramping upward?
Yes, sir.
That's what I remember. I just wanted some clarification to revisit that.
Okay.
So I'm going to share my screen again.
Okay.
Yeah, this is not the exact picture that I wanted, but if you imagine the ramp will be on the right side of the building, which is towards this side, and it would be mainly just the front of the building. I mean, yeah, the front of the ramp that you'd be seeing.
Well, this must be
this was a different
previous rendering, like you were going to put it on the left side.
Correct. This was a previous, and then yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So the picture I have in my file then is more accurate than that.
Yeah, the application picture is more accurate because you can see the right side of the building, and that's where the ramp's going to go, is on the right side, correct?
So yeah. So any commissioners' questions regarding material or construction or location? Hearing no questions, I'd entertain a motion to accept the application for certificate of appropriateness for the 393 Maple Street to add an ADA compliant ramp to the right side of the building.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Is there any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, let me call the roll. Commissioner Kroll,
Yes.
Commissioner Finn,
Yes.
Commissioner Belton. Thomas? Did we lose him?
He's
No,
muted.
He's muted. Tom, you're
Tom, you're
muted.
muted. If you could unmute and for the vote. Let me go past that. Commissioner Nardi,
Yes.
Commissioner Walsh is yes. Commissioner
Yes.
Belton? Okay,
Yes.
thank you. Okay, that's been approved. And
I also want to add that we did not receive any comments for that particular matter.
okay, thank you. Make sure you get those for me there. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, next is 75 Mulberry Street. This is the application for, hold on, this is the front porch one, right? Okay, let me just get it in front of me. Anyway, this is for an application appropriate to rebuild, tearing down the existing structure, rebuild footings, utilize decorative historic salvage materials, replication of elements. So to the applicant, this is Lori Campbell is the owner. Is there anything you'd like to add to your, to let us know for your application or update us on the application?
Sure. So this is actually Tina Quagliato Sullivan from the city of Springfield. We're here with the owner, Lori Campbell. The city is funding the repairs of the porch. So we don't have anything to add.
Okay.
Public comments added.
Thank you. Do we have any public commentary?
No, we've not received any comments for this particular matter.
Okay. Were there any questions from the commissioners? All right, hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to accept the application for certificate of appropriateness for 75 Mulberry Street. To rebuild, they gave us an extensive description, so I don't want to read the whole thing, but to rebuild it as submitted.
So moved.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Nardi. A second?
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion on that motion? Okay, let me call the roll. Commissioner Finn,
Yes.
Commissioner Belton,
Yes.
Commissioner Nardi,
Yes.
Commissioner Walsh is yes, and Commissioner Kroll.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. And Mulberry Street application has been approved. All right. Next is 47 Bellevue, which is an application for certificate of appropriate to remove and replace the first floor sun porch windows. 97-year-old windows are warped by wooden storms that are also not efficient, very difficult to put in place. See the photos of existing window and plans and specifications. Okay, is there anything on this that the petitioner would like to add?
No.
Nothing? Okay, thank you. Alvin, was there any public commentary on the application?
No, we didn't receive any comments for this particular matter.
Okay, is there any questions from commissioners? No, hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to accept the application for certificate of appropriateness at 47 Bellevue Avenue for removal and replace the first floor sun porch windows.
So moved.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, thank you, Commissioner Finn. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, let me call the roll vote. Commissioner Belton,
Yes.
Commissioner Nardi,
Yes.
Commissioner Walsh is yes, Commissioner Kroll,
Yes.
and Commissioner Finn.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. That application has been approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is 10 Cornell Street. It's an application for certificate of appropriateness at 10 Cornell for window replacement. I know we had questions on this one. Is there anything else the petitioner would like to add?
Yes, Alexander Damari,
Okay, go
10
ahead.
Cornell Street.
Yep.
One of the concerns were that they were dark windows underneath. I actually submitted the new pictures. The windows underneath that I've never seen are actually yellow. They're not dark at all.
Okay.
There are no dark windows on my entire house.
Yeah, I did see the couple of pictures you sent. Okay, are there any questions by the commissioners?
Actually, just for point of information, Mr. Chair, I wanted to ask, I guess, about the comment on the windows. The application, it says windows already approved and installed 34 Sumner Avenue. Was that this?
I think that what they were, it was the vendor had done approved window installation work, not necessarily that this particular window was approved.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I'm Mark Lavoie. I'm from Advanced Window Systems. It actually is the window. We only have one window. It's our line of window. So the window that was approved, that was done there, is the same window because again, we only have one make, and it is our make. So
thank you for clarification. I couldn't, we hear a lot of these, so I wasn't sure. I was thinking that was a different window at 34 Sumner.
No, same window, and it's ours. So we're the dealer, and it's our window.
Okay.
And again, just for clarification, that window that was approved for 34 Sumner Avenue was approved in a brown color, exterior color.
Ah, that's what it was. I knew there was something. So they're looking for white. I mean, there's a lot of, well, commissioners, I mean, we can vote. If there's anything else anybody wants to add, any commissioners have any questions?
There is one comment.
Okay.
We received a comment from Mr. David Gaby of 1105 Worthington Street, Springfield. His comments are, greetings, commissioners. I am writing as a concerned McKnight neighbor and veteran of many restoration efforts, including work restoring the house at 10 Cornell Street in the late 1970s, at which time it was rescued from near derelict status. Being familiar with the house from that time and having viewed it from the street recently, I am not aware of any special reason the windows should be replaced. Instead of being selectively repaired and restored, as it is being done on several other houses in McKnight community with the support of the recently created grant program. In fact, this seems to be another example where people may have been oversold on the virtues of replacement windows as a way to address heat loss. The majority of heat loss typically occurs through the roof via what is commonly known as the chimney effect, despite what people may have heard on TV. In my view, this is overselling of window replacement should be addressed by consumer protection agencies as consumer fraud. However, as the commission is confronted with this and other similar requests, I would urge the commission to cease using the window standards previously adopted and to reject all window replacement requests other than those that would repair and restore the original windows or replace them as required by actual deterioration of particular windows with new windows of the same design. For the convenience of the commission, I would note this is essentially a restatement of the Secretary of Interior standards applied to windows, and that this greatly impacts the external appearance of the house and is explicitly within the scope of the commission's mandate. The frequently heard argument that no appropriate windows are available is easily disproven with a Google search, and if needed, I will be happy to supply interested party with a list of vendors of appropriate window products. In addition, all parties should be reminded that prior window replacement projects, even those approved like the one at the Tapley School, have undermined the character of our historic buildings, and in many cases have not stood the test of time, as proven by the requests of various property owners to replace their replacement windows after only a few years, as in the house on High Street or the Rainville building on Byers Street, which is presently proposing a grant to replace its replacement windows that have failed after only a few years. In fact, industry data suggests that many of these products do not even last long enough to pay for themselves through the projected energy savings. Thank you for this opportunity to be heard on this important issue impacting the preservation of our historic architectural legacy. Sincerely, Mr. David Gaby.
Okay. That's for the record. So the top two floors, I'm trying to refresh my memory. The top two floors had already been replaced by white vinyl windows?
Yes.
Okay, was that prior to your ownership?
No, when we first came, I wasn't aware of it, and now I just wanted to do it correctly.
Okay. Any commissioners have any questions?
Chairman Walsh, I do.
Yes, go ahead.
The number of windows proposed to be replaced, will this be the balance of the windows in the home or a portion of what's left?
Yes, it is the balance, except there's two that one has stained glass, and I'm obviously not going to touch that. And there is another, there's a landing, and it was stained glass that somebody had removed. And when all is said and done, we would like to replace that with a stained glass window that's appropriate for a landing. It's got plexiglass. It was replaced before we moved in. It had like some kind of plexiglass. And until we can get a stained glass that would be fitting for that, we're not going to replace that.
Yeah.
So that is not part of this proposal, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Just bear with me for a minute. I'm just trying to read through the window description. You know, the hard part is looking at the pictures. You sent pictures, but I'm looking at these original pictures that got sent in, and it certainly looks like there are dark colored windows. And I don't want to belabor that point too much, but the newer pictures you sent clearly show that something's been painted, part exterior been painted white, and then the interior, you know, some of the, I mean, the storm windows white, and then behind that's some yellow. It's just historically, it would have been something darker than white. But, you know, I don't,
Mr. Walsh, your mic is muted.
well, for how much of that was it muted? Did I just hit it accidentally? What was the last thing you heard, Alvin?
That they were supposed to be dark, but I can tell you when we moved in, we have never painted, and they were yellow prior to us moving in.
Well, I was just saying that the pictures I'm looking at, it appears, you know, obviously I didn't drive up and walk up. It just does appear that many of the windows are darker. Historic buildings don't have white windows in them. And this is part of where the problem is, if it could be a different color. I don't know if there's any other darker colors available, but, you know, we can just vote. You know, and a lot of the storms are white, which would give the appearance that all the windows are white from the road. I understand that. And this design is something that's been approved in different buildings. Let me see, I'm just.
Chairman Wallace, I have a question for the petitioner.
Go ahead, Commissioner Finn.
Damari, the windows that you currently have that are white vinyl, they
Yep.
do or do not have storms?
They do not have storms.
They do not, okay. So the entire second floor is visible? in terms
That
of
is
white
correct.
vinyl? Okay,
Correct.
thank you.
I must admit, I have a small issue with you doing 2/3 of the house and then coming with us to approve the other part of the house. And I don't think I can approve that under appropriateness, but I'm not the only one who votes here. And well, if no other commissioners have any other questions or comments and the petitioner has nothing else to add, I would entertain a motion to accept the application for a certificate of appropriateness for 40 Cornell Street windows replacement as 10 replacements with white vinyl windows.
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Kroll. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. Is there any discussion on the motion? I mean, I have just voiced my concern is that I have a problem approving this under appropriateness because essentially you did 2/3 of the house without, considering the historical guidelines. And now want us to approve the completion of the job under appropriateness. And if those windows aren't appropriate, they would be a different color. If the design could be, I'm kind of trying to look through the design, but I don't want to take that much time to read through it all to see if it's sitting on how it's sitting on the sill and how much, glass there is relative to the frame. Some vinyl windows have very thick white, you're losing a lot of glass space and some don't. The ones that we would be likely to approve would have more glass, less vinyl. And they would sit down as close to that sill as possible. So I'm hoping that's the case. Anyway, any other discussion? No, hearing none. Well, I'm going to call the vote. Commissioner Nardi?
Yes. No, no.
No. Okay. Commissioner Nardi is no. Commissioner Walsh is no. Commissioner Kroll?
No.
Commissioner Finn?
No.
And Commissioner Belton?
No.
No. To the petitioner, you really can't approve the completion of it with just basic white vinyl windows. So that's been voted down. I'm not sure if there's someone you can consult with that might be able to I'm not sure what you can do with that. The white vinyl is not under appropriate, it can't really be approved under the historic guidelines. All right, next on the agenda is 130, 132 Washington Road. This is an application for certificate of hardship to install basic gutters and soffit.
Commissioner Walsh, the petitioner is not on the call. I'm not sure if you guys feel like you have enough information to render a decision.
I feel like I have enough, but I'd have to certainly ask for discussion from all the remaining commissioners.
I have enough.
I have enough.
Okay. So they're not on. They haven't asked for an extension or anything?
They have not.
Was there any public commentary?
We did not receive public commentary.
Okay, then I would entertain a motion to accept the application for certificate of hardship at 130 Washington Road to install basic gutters and soffit.
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Finn. Is there a second?
I would explain the material change in that, that decision.
You would what?
Explain the material change in the proposal as part of the decision.
Oh. Well, we haven't made the decision yet, have we? Did I get a second on that motion? Well,
Second.
okay, thank you, Commissioner Nardi. Any discussion on the motion? I don't think we had sufficient information. It was a change in material to me. Actually, it sounded more like just covering up existing damaged material. And that's not historically appropriate to me. Any other further discussion on that motion? Hearing none, let me call the vote. Commissioner Walsh is no. Commissioner Kroll?
No.
Commissioner Finn?
No.
Commissioner Belton?
No.
And Commissioner Nardi?
No.
Okay. 130 Washington Road has not been approved. Are continued. So we're going to be going to some new public hearings, and just so you'll know, and I'm going to read through this again, that all the further, there's a couple items we have that we might be able to vote on, but any other public hearings will be continued to the next meeting of May 20th to allow for public commentary. So I apologize for being repetitive here, but in order to establish municipal government to continue its important work during COVID-19 pandemic, while assuring both city employees and citizens can satisfy CDC social distancing guidelines, the city of Springfield is providing public notice that it will conduct the public hearing utilizing remote technology. Copies of said position texts and maps may be requested by email or phone. Email should be directed to the Office of Planning and Economic Development at AALLEN at Springfield City Hall, or by calling cityhall.com, or by calling 413-787-6020. Public comment will be taken in two segments. First public comment period will take place prior to the meeting discussion. The second public comment period will take place after the meeting, remain open for 24 hours. To provide for public comment in writing, mail Springfield Historic Commission, 70 Tapley Street, Springfield, Mass. 01104, or email allen@springfieldcityhall.com. And to provide for public comment by voicemail, 413-750-3223. So let's see what we have next here. Okay, 223. This is an application for a certificate of non-applicability to replace siding vinyl to vinyl. Okay, if the applicant, if the petitioner would just like to. Okay, let me see what's going on. Just tell us what's up. Who's the petitioner here?
We have Mr. Reyes.
Mr. Reyes?
And he's currently muted.
Okay. Mr. Reyes, if you could unmute. And just describe the work that's going to be done. Mr. Reyes? All right, I'm going to put that one on hold for a second. And we're going to move on to the next. This is 31 Madison Avenue. Application for a certificate of appropriateness. Okay, hold on. not finding out, I'm not reading what they're doing here.
Sure. Hi, this is Tina Quagliato Sullivan again from the city. We're here with.
Please jump right in. I
We're
appreciate
here with the property owner, Willie Frazier. We also have Plotkin, who is the city's independent consultant who will be writing up the specs for the contractor. The project is being funded with Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery Funds. On the application submitted, you can find the description of what we are proposing on the second page. I have a memo. If you look, we initially put it in under non-applicability, but I believe the commission determined that was not appropriate because the city is seeking to install a bird cage on the rear chimney. So another thing to just note about this property, it's a side-by-side duplex. So, you know, the city is seeking with the homeowner to do some work to the roof. Obviously, making sure that we repair the roof ensures the integrity, not just of his property, but of the property next door as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's beautiful.
As far as the bird cage goes, the city is hoping to, at the advice of Plotkin, hoping to install a bird cage. If the commission has specific specifications around materials or a type that should be installed, we would certainly defer to you folks. But obviously we want to avoid animals getting into the chimney or birds nesting in there and creating a fire hazard.
Yeah, since I've been on the commission for a long time, I've never heard somebody say the bird cage. Not sure if it falls under our purview, but any change, any visual change to something. What is that? Just screening of some kind?
Yeah, I think Courtney from Plotkin, maybe you could just give us a little bit of a description of that.
I mean, I've looked at all the pictures. So
Is it really a chimney cat? Is that what we're talking about? Is it chimney cat?
Yeah, I believe so too.
Chimney cat.
Yeah.
Chimney cat.
Yeah.
I
like the terminology though, bird cage. That's very cool.
Yeah. So this is right side, 31 Madison, completely divided down the center basement level. Roof is 4 chimneys, whereas on the right side, install and maintain OSHA roof standoffs, coordinate efforts, whatever. Can't. I'm trying to like old mortar removed, loose and denigrated mortar beyond the depth removed. Damage, careful joint preparation help limit damage to masonry units. New concrete caps on both the chimneys with a bird cage installed on the rear. Mechanical chimney only. Okay. Is there going to be any change in the? There's no change to
no, sir.
Of the chimney. Okay. All right. Alvin, are we sure this doesn't fall under non-applicability?
Again, it's a change of what's there, so I would say that you guys.
Because like a chimney cap is a temporary, can be put on, taken off. It's not a permanent part of the structure. Am I seeing this wrong?
I mean, if you guys decide that it's not applicability, you guys can take that vote.
Okay. I'm actually not sure. Like I said, Tina, I've never seen this request. It's my general knowledge would think that this would not be a permanent structure or a permanent change. Commissioners, anybody else jump right in with this?
Yeah, and we do have Courtney Rose from Plotkin on, who they're writing the specs. So Courtney, I don't know, maybe you could speak a little bit more specifically to how permanent this is.
It's like Courtney's on twice here.
Yeah.
Hello? Yes. The chimney cap is actually a permanent cover after installing the bricks and everything. Is just a prevention measure for
right,
like
but it's a permanent. It's not something that can be put on or taken off at will. It's something that's permanent.
It is permanent.
Okay, then that makes it that it has to be, we have to consider this, yeah, for public commentary as well. Okay, I was trying to, maybe slim this one up, but thank you for that clarification, because that's what makes the difference. Okay, and okay. Is there any commissioners have any questions of the petitioners? No, hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to continue the application for certificate of appropriation 31 Madison Avenue to the May 20th meeting for public commentary.
So moved.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. Second, any discussion on the
Chairman
motion?
Walsh, I do have just a clarification question.
Yes.
Tina, you might be able to answer that. This is a permanent, basically a chimney cap, right? With either stainless steel or copper top.
Yes, sir. It is.
Courtney, yes.
We are trying to find matching cap, but a newer one. There are so much different in design and quality. So we know that we can find the same thing as is there now. It's just that the other one is not appropriate to reuse. But it's like a blockage for any object to enter down.
I'm well aware, yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, just needed clarification. Thank you so much.
Okay, I know we're in discussion on a motion, but I would suggest that if you get a specifics, we're going to want to see the specifics.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
So any further discussion on the motion? Let me call the vote. Commissioner Kroll?
Yes.
Commissioner Finn?
Yes.
Commissioner Belton?
Yes.
Commissioner Nardi?
Yes.
And Commissioner Walsh to continue the to the next hearing. Anyway, thank you very
Commissioner
much.
McFarland, yes.
Oh, McFarland, did I miss you? Sorry about that. Did I miss you in the last vote too?
And can I just, for clarification purposes, so assuming we produce, some more specificity around that for the next meeting, do we then have a third meeting after that, or would the second vote happen then?
I think we'll be able to take the vote. I don't hear if it's material change enough. So you've already said what you're going to do. We just don't really know exactly what it's going to be made of or look like. So it's not like you're changing what you're going to do. If you came back and said, look, we're not going to do that, we're going to do this, then we would have to move on.
Sure, and just and the commission doesn't have any recommendations at this time about specified color or type of materials for it. You're just looking to see what we're proposing.
Yeah, you just pulled a first on me. So the next one I might have a recommendation, but I don't for this.
Sure. Okay.
Any other commissioners though, jump in if you do, please.
Tina, these have typically been approved in either stainless or copper.
Sounds good.
Just so you know.
Okay.
All right, so
We'll be sure that whatever we bring to the next meeting is of that material, of either of the. Thank you.
Yeah.
Vinny.
This one.
Yes.
We've got the material that they're talking about, but I think it should be dark in nature. I would hate to see some stainless steel wiring for a chimney cap.
Right. Well, that's a good point, Tom. And when it's copper, it's very commonly seen. We see copper, which is generally a darker color. So anyway, that's the only things that's all we can suggest right now. But I agree with Tom that a darker color is preferred. I would prefer darker color. Obviously it's always to a vote. Okay, we voted to continue. Now let me go back to just real quick to 223 Pine. Mr. Reyes, are you on? You're muted right now, but can you let us know that you can hear us? Alvin, do you want to give him a call? Well, he's on the phone, but maybe he can.
Yeah, I tried calling. I'll try again.
Yeah, try again. Okay, I'm going to put him aside again, and we'll move past that. Okay, the next is 9 Bellevue. It's an application for certificate of appropriateness. We will be installing solar panels on the backside of the roof per the plans that were presented to building department by the contractor. We do not have complete copies. Please be advised if I need to provide them all or take photo of the roof. Yeah, well, you do have to provide us with the plan. Is the petitioner with us? I'm looking real quick.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, that's you. It says Kelly Rourke.
She wrote an email, I think, to Alvin saying that I would be representing.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, we do want to see the plans and any rendering thereof for a couple of reasons. One, to make sure the setbacks from the edges and the valleys are sufficient. And because there are guidelines for how these panels are going to be placed, you know, how close they have to be to the roof. Their angle has to be the same as the roof. You know, you can't have the roof at one angle and then the panels up at a different angle. Yeah, I figure you know that, but that's why we need to actually get copies of the plans. So there's no renderings or anything. Oh, there are here. There are renderings here. The way I'm reading it says, please advise if I need to provide them. Well, the renderings, she did provide the renderings. And this is the back of, is this minimally visible from public ways, in your opinion, Sarah?
Yes, it is on the back side of the house, so it's not visible from Bellevue Ave. There are 3 panels that are going on the south side, which would be minimally visible from Belmont Ave. But there's sufficient tree coverage on that side that you wouldn't be able to see it from the street unless you were looking for it.
And what street would be where would it be visible? What would it be visible to? The panels on the back.
As far as I can tell, there is another house. I was just looking on Google Street View. There's another house that is behind that house. They could probably see it.
Okay. Because, you know, our goal is minimal visibility. It looks by actually they have great detail here. I hadn't read relative to the she said she didn't have complete copies. This does have the installation information. It says 3 inches, which I believe is within the guidelines. The only thing I can't tell from this is the valleys and any of the other materials that are used to install. Maybe it's in here. I got to just keep reading.
Yeah, so the spec sheets of all of the materials are in the back of that packet that you should have.
Now are they, where's all the electrical, the box and the conduit is going to the rear of the house?
So that is pretty flexible on our end. If that's where you want all of that stuff to go,
we don't want that visible from a public way either.
Absolutely. The only thing that would be visible, so the utility does require that an AC disconnect be mounted within 10 feet of the utility meter. And in this case, the homeowner's utility meter is on the front side of the house. It looks like they have covered it up with a trellis. So I don't know if that would be another acceptable form in this case, but there would have to be at least a disconnect on the front of the house.
Yeah, we understand that requirement is there. It's just, I'm surprised that there are electrical meters on the front of the house.
I was also surprised.
You don't see that too often. And the color of the conduit is? So
the conduit can be painted to any color that you or the homeowner would want. Also, the roof pipe can be run inside of the attic so that you wouldn't see it on the roof.
Yeah, we do prefer the installation of the roof pipe inside, if it's possible. If not, it's to blend into the roof as much as possible. And then any conduit to be matching the color, you know, the house is, so it can blend in. And if that's, you know, it looks like, I mean, the rendering that you gave us looks like it's sufficient. You know, I can't, because it doesn't say it's going to be this far from the valley and this far from the edge, but there is a lot of detail in there. So is there anything else you'd like to add, Sarah?
I think that's all I have, unless you have questions.
Okay, thank you. Any commissioners have questions? Okay, so I'm just going to kind of summarize. So we're talking about the roof conduit inside, the roof material inside, the conduits being matching color to the house. And the disconnect, I know it has to be within a certain distance, but any other boxes or anything, are they going to be, is that the only thing going to be visible? Well, they have it hidden by a trellis, but is that the only thing that's going to be on the front? Are there any other boxes or?
Yes, that's the only thing that will be visible to the public eye.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? No? Okay, then I'd entertain a motion to continue this application for certificate of appropriateness 9 Bellevue Ave to the May 20th meeting to allow for public commentary.
So moved.
So moved.
Okay, that's.
Second.
Thank you. Second, we got a second and a third in there. So let me call the vote. Commissioner Kroll,
Yes.
Commissioner Finn,
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland,
Yes.
Commissioner Belton,
Yes.
Commissioner Nardi,
Yes.
and Commissioner Walsh. So we have continued to the 20th.
Commissioner Walsh, it looks like we have the petitioner for 223 Pine Street is available.
Okay, good. Let's get back to 223 Pine Street. Okay, this is an application for a certificate of non-applicability. Can you just tell us what your project is, Mr. Reyes?
Yes, just to remove the siding, the old siding that was there because it had holes on it and it had mold inside and there was some parts that were broken and, you know, ugly and, yeah, just to remove the siding, do the same thing, just a different color that would be like light gray.
Okay.
It used to,
Have you already done the new siding job?
Yes, I did because that we had peeled the house already. And it was flying all over. I said, might as well do it, you know, and because
okay,
I didn't even know that we have to go through these procedures to do that.
Okay.
I just purchased the house about 18 months ago.
Right, and all you did was replace with the exact material that was there.
Exact, no windows, no nothing, no, just the siding.
Just
the
the
same
siding.
way it was, just a little bit different color.
Okay, so siding for siding, all vinyl. You changed no other material. I mean, no material. Vinyl came off. Vinyl went back on.
Same vinyl, same material.
Okay. Any commissioners have any questions for Mr. Reyes?
Just wanted to state for clarification, I put this on the agenda because typically, you know, vinyl would not be approved. However, in this case, you know, I went back through several years of photos and the vinyl has been on the structure for quite a number of years. But you know, I didn't want to just sign off on this under non-applicability. I wanted to bring it to the commission, so.
No, in under normal circumstances, we wouldn't, but he's replaced an exact material, one material with the same material that was on there. And
There's kind of a grandfather consideration.
yeah, there is. That's what it is. And, you know, he's allowed to replace it with the exact material. If he made any material changes to the property, it'd be different. I'm actually okay with this non-applicability, but I'd like to ask for a motion and a vote as well anyways. I mean, we don't have to, if it's not applicability, it doesn't have to be subject to public commentary. So, but I would like to entertain a motion to accept the
So moved.
application for certificate of non-applicability at 223 Pine. We got a second. Is there any discussion on that motion? Okay, Commissioner Kroll,
Yes.
Commissioner Finn,
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland,
Yes.
Commissioner Belton,
Yes.
Commissioner Nardi,
Yes.
and Commissioner Walsh is yes. Okay, he's all set. Just remember, Mr. Reyes, that if you go to change windows or anything else, the material, you know, that looks different, you got to come back before us.
I already know that for the future. I didn't know. I didn't know anything. So
Thank you very much for coming.
Okay, so I'm all set for now.
You're all set.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Okay. Okay, now 34 Sumner. This is an interesting one. We have an application for certificate of appropriateness.
So I just want to state for you guys are, because this was previously before you guys, and you guys had denied the petition, even there is a change to the previous application. So you guys have to, one, determine if there's enough of a material change for you guys to actually hear the matter. And if you feel like there's enough of a material change, then you can go ahead with a public hearing.
Okay, well, let me read this this letter. Dear Commission members, we have made significant changes to our request for parking in front of the retail space at 34 Sumner Avenue. We reduced our request by 50%, are seeking 2 parking spaces in place of our initial request for 4. In our new configuration, we've been able to keep the existing fence and landscape bed in their current location. In our last application, the movement of the fence was cited as a reason for denial. These additional spaces will provide a benefit to the association. We hope the Commission recognizes the value of our project and our efforts to work with all stakeholders. Thank you for your consideration. Respectfully, David Napolitan, Managing Agent, Sumner Place at Forest Park. So the scope of the work is proposing to add 2 parking spaces in the front of the retail space that exists within the already constructed building. Parking spaces will be 10 wide by 20 long, will supplement the existing park for the benefit of the retail space. The project will disturb approximately 480 square feet of existing impervious surface. Layout will ensure that the existing fence and landscape bed will remain in their current location. There will be a minor change to the landscape bed with the removal of 2 outside bushes and the addition of 4 new plantings along the property frontage. New plantings will supplement the existing landscape and provide additional screening from the road. As you know, the new plantings has really nothing to do with us. So the first question is, do we think this is a significant enough change to consider it a new application?
Mr. Napolitan, can you speak to the change from this application from your previous?
Sure. Sure. Thank you for the opportunity to be back in front of the Commission. This is a project that we think has great benefit for the association. I work for NAI Plock, and we're the managing company that cares for the association. So we see this as a real benefit to the retail space, which currently is vacant, but we're doing our best to try and get that leased. And we know that that is going to put additional pressure on parking, you know, within the property. So we looked at the feedback from our last presentation, and we thought by reducing our request and dropping now just to 2 spaces, which 2 are still very valuable to us, we thought that that was a significant change. And also we were able to, with the reduction in parking, keep the layout as it is today. The fencing is not going to move. And I would remind our commissioners that we are a mixed use property. I know when we originally presented the last time, there was some concern. And I think the thinking that we were a residential property, but we are zoned for mixed use. And we do have, I know Mr. Nardi was not at our last meeting, and I can't recall if there's any other commissioners, but we do have information that shows the commission, the treatment of other retail spaces along Sumner Avenue. And I would say, I think our property does an excellent job of screening.
Mr. Napolitan, I apologize for stopping you there. And this is just a technicality. The first thing we have to deal with is if we consider a significant enough change to even hear the application.
Sure.
If we do, if we find that it was significant enough, and I do recall that presentation and it was okay, then we can allow public commentary to happen again. So then we can take a vote at the next meeting.
Okay.
I think that, I guess what I'm saying is that we have to take care of this other issue before we kind of move to the next.
Sure,
Just in the technical situation. So let me just talk to the commissioners.
Commissioner Walsh, for clarification, the previous application was requesting 4 parking spaces. The new application is requesting 2. The previous application was moving a fence forward to the public way. This new petition is no longer moving the fence.
Right. I'm sufficiently satisfied that this application is different enough to warrant a new hearing, but it's not up to me. I would have to entertain a motion that this application is not sure the exact wording, but significantly different enough to have another hearing. It's just not a continuation of the previous application. So if a commissioner would like, actually, any more questions from commissioners relative to that? And if not, then I'd entertain a motion to.
Yeah, Commissioner Belton.
Go ahead, Commissioner Belton.
I have a concern about the category that we are hearing this under, the appropriateness of this.
Okay. Well, in Tom, just like I said, I had to kind of back into the technical, take care of the technical situation first before we can hear the, we have to decide whether this is different enough a petition to even move back to a public hearing. So, in my opinion, is that it is different enough with the not moving the fence, reducing the parking things. It really doesn't change too much from the street at all. But any other commissioners, certainly voice your opinions, and I certainly would entertain a motion that we can continue this application for for public commentary, that we can move it forward as a new application. So I don't know that we need a vote to say yes, this is a new application. Just a vote that we will hear it is a yes, of affirming that we consider it different enough to move forward.
Well, looking at both of the applications, they're definitely significantly different.
Okay.
So I'm okay if you want to continue.
Yeah, I'd entertain a motion. I don't think we have to hear, Mr. Napolitan, we could go into all the details again. And maybe let me get a motion to continue to the next hearing date of the 20th.
I'll move that.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion on the motion? Let me ask the commissioners if they have sufficient information regarding the changes relative. We all have the information sent to us. Is there anything else we would need from the petitioner?
Just in general discussion, I would say a 50% reduction in the pavement and the alleviation of the fence, the street vista, is a significant change and warrants a new application as presented.
Okay. All right. So this motion is to move to new public commentary in the public hearing and to hear the application and vote on the next meeting on the 20th. So any other discussion on the motion? Okay, let me call the roll on Commissioner Kroll.
Yes.
Commissioner Finn.
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland.
Yes.
Commissioner Belton.
Yes.
And Commissioner Walsh. Yes. So Mr. Napolitan, I know you understand what we just did. We didn't approve your application for the changes. We've just made it a public hearing subject to public commentary, and we will vote at the next meeting. And I know there's public commentary on this. Do we want to enter some of that into the record now?
Sure. We have quite a bit of commentary. I'll start with Ralph Slate of 270 Long Hill Street.
Okay.
So Mr. Slate writes, Dear members of the Springfield Historical Commission, I am writing regarding the request for a certificate of appropriateness to add 2 parking spaces between the foundation line and the public way at 34 Sumner Avenue. I strongly urge you to not approve this request because it is not appropriate for the district. There are no explicit guidelines for parking spaces, so determination of appropriateness should be judged within the context of the overall district guidelines, as well as other features for which guidelines do exist. The district guidelines acknowledge the overall delightful character and integrity of the Forest Park Heights. They state, although individual structures may not be significant, the relationship between the various buildings creates a whole which is greater than the sum of its parts. Years after Forest Park Heights was built, it not only is still well maintained, but is still remarkably intact. To aid in preserving this architecturally delightful area, the Historical Commission, City Council, and the Mayor declared it a historic district. Those same guidelines contain language that addresses protecting the street vista in the section describing fencing. To protect the street vista, fencing between the public way and the foundation line is not allowed. Under certain circumstances, on a case-by-case basis, the Commission will permit fencing. Any case-by-case fencing could be allowed under the category of hardship, not appropriateness, since the appropriateness guidelines expressly state that such fencing is not allowed. Even under hardship, fencing has almost never been approved between the main structure and the public way in any of Springfield's suburban districts. Hardship fencing is usually approved for land adjacent to the main structure or as a measure to temporarily protect a troubled property. There are some fences in the district which are beyond the foundation line, but almost all of them predate the creation of the district, and none of these fences are between the main structure and the public way to preserve the street vista. Based on this, it would not be consistent for the Springfield Historical Commission to simultaneously prohibit vista-harming fencing between the foundation line and the public way, but to permit vista-harming parking spaces between the foundation line and the public way. The request is clearly inappropriate. It would be difficult to argue that the lack of parking spaces between the foundation and the public way, a condition that has been present since the building was constructed in 1989, is suddenly a hardship, especially since the property in question was built while the district guidelines were already in place. It is commonly understood that hardship cannot be self-imposed. Constructing a development with insufficient parking would be an example of that. Finally, nothing in Mass General Laws 40C suggests that district guidelines are governed by zoning. Section 7 states, in passing upon matters before it the Commission shall consider, among other things, the historic and architectural value and significance of the site, building, or structure, the general design, arrangement, texture, material, and color of the features involved, and the relation of such features to similar features of buildings and structures in the surrounding area. Deeming parking spaces between a property and the public way as appropriate for one property would set a precedent for similar properties along Sumner Avenue. Future requests will be impossible to disapprove because the Commission will already have deemed such parking as appropriate. Unlike the current application, who is trying to argue that parking adjacent to the primary building is justification to allow parking in front of his primary building, those applicants will have precedent of such an approval. Please be consistent with past practices and do not approve this application and continue to protect the street vista in Forest Park Heights. Sincerely, Ralph Slate.
Okay, that was a long one.
Yeah, all right, so I got a few more. Mr. John Doyle of 34 Sumner Avenue, Units 203. Good morning. When 34 Sumner Avenue was developed and built in the 1980s, it was specifically designed to complement the many grand and historical apartment blocks within the Forest Park Heights Historical District, i.e. Beechwood, Chatham Court, and etc. Bow windows and architecturally correct pediments were part of these efforts. Paving over the Sumner Ave frontage of the condominium to gain 4 parking spaces is something that should not be permitted. This could also set precedents for others to pave over front areas of other properties. I am an owner and beneficiary of the condominium trust here, and I urge you to not allow this project to proceed. Thank you, Mr. John Doyle. I also have comments from Ms. Shay Ferbert of 34 Sumner Avenue. Good morning. My name is Shay Ferbert, and I am an owner of a condo at 34 Sumner Avenue, Springfield, at Sumner Place. I support the idea of adding parking spaces at the front of the building by retail space, as it will be a benefit, as it will benefit the retail space as well as residents of the building. Thank you, Ms. Shay Herbert. I also have a letter from Mr. Winston Palmer. To whom it may concern, as a resident of Sumner Place, the parking arrangement as proposed by management is a good plan for the rental of the office spaces as well as the residents. This will allow those running the businesses to have dedicated parking places during their hours of operation, which would not infringe on the residents. While during the weekend, the spaces would benefit the residents and their visitors. Also, it is good to note that the additional parking would not harm the curb appeal of the building itself. Sincerely, Winston Palmer.
Okay.
I also have a voice recording.
Okay.
Just a moment.
Good morning. This is Sandra Hines calling you from 34 Sumner Avenue. I live in Unit 204, and I am voting to have 2 new parking spaces put in at 34 Sumner Avenue. Thank you.
Thank you.
So you guys were able to hear that okay?
Oh, yeah. Yep, all good. Is that all it for public commentary so far?
I believe that's all the comments so far.
Okay.
I think, wasn't there another 1 or 2, Alvin?
I'll check my emails, but that's what I.
We can enter them into the record before, in the next meeting.
Sure,
Anything else that comes in, we'll add to the record. But so we're continued to the meeting on the 20th.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, next. 400 Maple Street. Application for a certificate of hardship. Replace 6 windows to the rear of the property and rental 2-family unable to rent apartments due to poor condition of current windows, drafts, cracked glass, panes, window not aligning, causing hardship with no income from rental apartments due to current window conditions. They'll be replacing with Pella windows, custom and same style as present, only efficient. Okay, is the petitioner on?
Yes.
Okay, just tell us just give us a general. Of course, I just read it, I know, but give us a general description of the work that's going to be done.
Sure. There's 5 windows that are double hung, 28-inch wide by 28 3/4, one on top of the other, both same size. And 3 are on the courtyard interior of the property, 1 on the rear, 1 on the other side, opposite side, with a smaller window. And I'm having a little difficulty with the small one because it's a custom size. And that's the one that is actually at the worst of the poor condition. And it's called a French rollout. I've been in contact with Pella, who recommend a architectural style window that they recommend for historic homes. And we're trying to work up a price for those windows currently, but that's what they recommend for that small window. It's a rollout, kind of like a European type of window. I guess you'd call it a casement window.
Yeah, it'll be a casement. And they're all going to be the same 6/6 or?
Correct. They're yeah.
Casement. Yeah. Okay. And they're going to, I'm just looking for details here. because I don't have any. Alvin, do I not have a description of the windows in this packet? I mean, the actual material and stuff?
It would help us if we had like the Pella window
Number.
description, the model number, or a rendering of some kind.
Right. They were telling me it was like an S240. I guess they had a name for it, but I'm waiting for her to get me a printout of it specifically. But we were kind of hung up on that French one. She said that's the one they recommend for that, but we were really kind of working on that one. That was the bigger issue. With the others, they're all kind of, they're a little oversized, but they're a standard, the other 5.
Right. Are these wood?
They're wood. What they could recommend is doing the wood with aluminum over them. I'm not too fond of vinyl. To me, it looks cheaper, but something possibly that, I mean, that's an option.
And I see that the color you have, do you intend to paint the exterior window a specific color?
Yeah, to match what's here currently, but what we have here now is, I thought the house was already painted and the windows and the frames around the windows were all painted the same as the house. What upon closer inspection, and also what I'm requesting for, is the painting of the masonry. It's actually raw masonry, but they painted the windows, the mullions and the sills and all the same color as the raw material of the masonry. It's very difficult to tell that one's painted and one isn't. What I am considering is, if we get approval for the masonry painting, I would either stay true to the French provincial style and try to keep it the same color as the house itself, or the other option would be a dark, probably black window, painting the window mullions and the window sills around it.
Okay, yeah, that's 2 separate, just so the commissioners, I mean, you probably read through this. This is 2 separate applications she's made. We're addressing the windows first, but we will go to the stucco exterior part after. And in these windows, these 6 windows, are they? It sounds like they would be approved under our guidelines anyways. Is that, maybe we have to be more specific. Is there a way you'd be able to send Alvin the actual model and information number so he could get it out to us between?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Now and the next hearing date? That would be great.
Yeah, I'm looking at her now.
Several things you said. Sorry, Cheryl. Several things you said indicate that it sounds like an appropriate window to me, but the devil's in the details.
Right.
So in the casements, as long as they, I mean, how a casement works from the interior doesn't matter. It's just what it looks like when it's closed. If it looks the same, then it's the same. But anyway, that's just a few details we'll need on that one. We'll need some detail on that one. Any commissioners have any questions on that first application? Just for those windows?
I wanted to add for the commissioners that I did go out to look at these windows, and they're majority in the rear of the property, where it's, in my opinion, minimally visible.
Okay.
I can't say that you can't see them, but because of all the trees and all the brush, yeah, I would say it's minimally visible.
Okay. All right, good. We'd still like to get details, but that's a good one to know. Minimally visible. Okay, it sounds like the windows, I'm hoping I'm correct by thinking that they're pretty accurate. They're a good replacement anyways. So I would entertain a motion to forward, sorry, I'm mailing stuff, to continue this application for certificate of hardship at 400 Maple Street regarding the replacement windows.
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Kroll. Second. Okay, thank you. Let me just call the roll for the vote to continue. Commissioner Kroll?
Yes.
Commissioner Finn?
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland?
Yes.
Commissioner Belton?
Yes.
Commissioner Nardi, I won't forget you this time.
Thank you. Yes.
And Commissioner Walsh. Okay, so we have continued the application for the windows. She has a second application for certificate of appropriateness sand textured stucco exterior to be primed and painted in the color that is true to the French provincial style of the property. By doing so, this will seal and protect the exterior from weather damage and deterioration. Alvin?
Yes, typically the commission would not control paint color in the majority of these districts. However, you guys do control the painting of masonry. That's why it's before you guys today.
Okay. What that tells me is that we wouldn't have to know what the color was going to be.
And I provided that.
You have. I'm continuing to read. Bear with me. Just jump in to make sure you give us all the details you think we need.
Okay.
Paint color options. Okay.
It's in there.
Yeah, it's in there. Estate vanilla. Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Cheryl, to this? It's pretty straightforward, I think.
Yeah, I think it will help protect the interior as well, dampness, draft, and so forth. It's just that raw masonry doesn't help. I'm from Florida. Everybody who's got masonry homes down there have them painted, and so we've got a lot of experience in that area. And I have a gentleman for 40 years, a painter of 40 years, who's well versed in how to handle this type of painting. So
no, I agree that it's a good thing to do. So are there any other questions from commissioners? Then I would entertain a motion to continue the application for certificate of appropriateness, 400 Maple Street, for the exterior to be primed and painted in the color that's true to the French provincial style. And this is to allow for public commentary.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Okay, lots of seconds. That's good. So let me call the roll. Commissioner Kroll?
Yes.
Commissioner Finn?
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland?
Yes.
Commissioner Belton?
Yes.
Commissioner Nardi?
Yes.
And Commissioner Walsh is yes. So that also is continued, and we'll talk to you in a couple of weeks.
okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, environmental review 5153.
Commissioner Walsh, I don't see the petitioners on the call. They were on the call earlier, so I'll try to give them a phone call.
Okay, let's see where we can go next then. Okay, no, okay, now we have, okay, a couple of section 106 reviews. And Alvin, I'm sure will get back to us if he gets those petitioners back on the line. This is 10 Chestnut Street.
So we don't have anyone on the call for either the two section 106 reviews, but 10 Chestnut Street is the Chestnut Tower building.
Yeah. Well, do we have enough information to? I mean, all they want from us is if we think it's going to adversely affect the historic. There are already antennas there, I believe. They're just, seems like we have a lot of that antenna upgrading going on. I mean, it's up to the commissioners whether we consider this without a petitioner on the phone. Any comments?
I don't see a change. I don't see a dramatic change since you already have them existing.
No, neither do I. My main question, Commissioner Kroll, is just, do we want to have a petitioner describe what was going on? It doesn't look like it's going to. To me, it's not going to adversely affect, at least on, especially the first one, 10 Chestnut, not going to adversely affect. So maybe we can take care of these today.
I'm fine with
Yes.
it, Walsh.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Finn. And the other building, I'm not sure if how accurate the pictures. I can't really see any up there. Let me see what the rendering. I've got. Bear with me while what'd you find out, Alvin?
So the petitioner for 5153 Bay Street is going to log back in.
Okay. Now, what is these Section 106 reviews? We don't really need a petitioner on for these, I don't think.
Not necessarily, unless you feel like you have questions.
Okay, I at least on the Chestnut Street, I don't have any questions. Any other commissioners have questions on that? And we're just simply stating that we don't think it's going to adversely affect. It's not going to change the historical. What word am I looking for? Come on, Alvin, phrase that one for me.
No adverse effect.
Right, no adverse effect. And so we can actually probably vote on these two if the commissioners would, if you make a motion, then well, it's two separate. Well, I'd entertain a motion to that 275
determination.
Yeah, determination that it wouldn't adversely affect the historical makeup, or however. I'm not sure how you want to word that.
I think just simply no significant adverse effect, period.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I'll move that.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, so moved and seconded. Any discussion on the motion? And this is the 275 Chestnut Street. 275 Chestnut. I'll reverse the vote. Commissioner Walsh says yes. Commissioner Nardi?
Yes.
Commissioner Belton?
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland?
Yes.
Commissioner Finn?
Yes.
Commissioner Kroll?
Yes.
Thank you. And then if you want to make that same motion on the 10 Chestnut Street.
Yes, I'll move the same motion, same wording for 10 Chestnut Street.
Okay, thank you.
Second.
A second. Thank you, Commissioner Kroll. I'll call that roll again. To Commissioner Nardi?
Yes.
Commissioner Belton?
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland?
Yes.
Commissioner Finn?
Yes.
Commissioner Kroll?
Yes.
And Commissioner Walsh is yes. Okay. You got that, Alan?
Yep, I got it.
Okay, no. Adverse. I'm just writing my notes here. Okay, he's not back on yet. I don't see.
Mr. Glass.
Yeah.
Which one is it?
Mr. Glass.
This is for 5153 Bay. Okay, this is. All right, this is an application for review of projects located in the National Registered Districts, 5153 Bay Street, Holy Trinity Church. Full rehab of the historic structure. Doors and windows will be replaced and restored. The ones that are missing, replaced. The doors will be replicated as close as possible with the originals, as will be all structure. Rehabilitation inside also will be fully renovated. Okay, would you like to just tell us what the scope of the project is, sir?
Windows, doors, and limited remodel, just a rough remodel, no finishes.
Yeah, the exterior.
Chimney repair. We're gonna open the rear porches, but everything's being same as original.
So no change in material or work?
No.
So Commissioner Walsh, the application only contained windows and doors. It did not contain a chimney or porch.
Okay.
If they want to do that work, they would have to come back with another application.
Okay.
And in regards to the windows, they were actually previously approved for Pella windows, I believe, within the last year.
Right. Yeah, they were. I'm reading it right here. Replacement of existing wood windows with new vinyl windows. Windows would be dark color, not grid, no grids between the glass. Replacement repairs to all exterior wood, no change in design and material. Replacement roof shingles, asphalt, brick repointing, repair to various porch features with no change in design or material. Okay. So what is this? What do we have to do with this application then? What is this? Doors and windows.
So again, they did submit doors that they want to use to replace what's existing. The windows have been boarded up. Again, I'm not sure if they're looking to go with those Pella windows or they're suggesting something else, but I mean, that's really for the petitioner to figure out.
Right, but I don't have any. The fan light door will be used for the front. 9 light will be used for the porches, and solid 6-panel doors will be used for all rear entry. Repair and reglaze 24 windows, manufacture 14. Add a specification sheet for the manufactured windows that will be used. Okay, I think I need more information on doors. These are all going to be all wood doors, replicating. There's a link here, but I can't do the link. No, to the windows. Okay, any commissioners have any questions on this? You can see some of the doors there had been, they were not appropriate replacement doors anyway. So you're gonna try to replace these with more historically accurate doors.
Yes, and a lot of doors are missing. Most of them, I think basically all of the doors are missing. They're boarded up. So
I can see a couple here that just look like wood panel doors, which would be wonderful to get replaced.
Yeah.
I'm going to need more information on the type, the doors, what, you know, a rendering, what are the doors going to look like? What's the material going to be?
I sent over an email including the doors I was gonna use.
Okay, hold on. Let me keep reading. So this previous decision was 2 years ago relative to the windows. So, all right, so nothing's been done with that original decision. I mean, the original decision is we voted that there was no adverse impact from the following project. When are you going to try to schedule to get this going?
We're looking to get it going last month, so as soon as possible.
Okay.
Commissioner Walsh, I'm not sure if it's in the file or not, but I'm going to share the pictures that Mr. Glass sent over to me for the doors.
Yeah, I have lots of pictures, just not of doors.
Yeah, give me just a moment.
I got pictures of plenty of windows, though. So go ahead, share that with us, please.
Yeah, 1 second. Okay, so this is one of the doors here. Not sure of the location where this door would go.
Interior.
That says exterior door slab, masonite. Okay.
For the rear entrance too. And for the unit entrance. But for the front doors, it has the arch window, the wooden with the arch window. Yep, right there.
Okay. Do we have any historic? I have a couple of historic pictures here, but I can't really see what the doors and things look like. But it does have the, the decorative window up on the top. Do we have any? What's the most recent? Okay.
This is another door. I'm not sure of the location.
I'll use those for the porch, rear porch entrance doors.
Okay. Full rehab of the historic structure. Doors and windows will be replaced. Now, was your moving forward with the windows that were approved 2 years ago? Exactly the same?
Yes.
Approved prior?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Any commissioners have any questions?
That was my only question, Darrell, was what, were you going to use the existing windows that were approved, or were you going to rebuild what was there?
Okay, so the first floor, we can rebuild those windows. They're still there. The frames are there. Other windows are missing. They need to be rebuilt. Second floor, they're missing, so we're going to replicate what's on the first floor with the pellet because they're already approved just to get it going. We can get replicas built to match wooden, but if it's already approved, we can just use those just to speed up the process.
Okay, so you just.
So you'd have a mix. You'd rebuild some, you would fix some, and then you would replace some.
Yes.
But all from the exterior, they would all be the same color. They would all be,
yes,
with the same number of lights and what have you. I can't really tell by this. I wish I had a better historic picture because I can't tell if they're just 1/1s or what.
Yes, 1/1.
Yeah, so there's no dividing light, and you don't have to worry about that part. But these will all have the same appearance from the exterior. That's kind of what I'm asking.
Yes, they will.
Okay. Well, we approved it 2 years ago, so. Now on Alvin, keep me in line here of what we actually have to do.
So this one would be just like any other local historic district, even though it's in the National Register, it would have to come back for another.
Yeah, we have to open it for public commentary.
That's correct.
Yeah, okay. All right. Any other questions from commissioners? Hearing none. Any other thing you'd like to add, Mr. Glass? No. No? Okay. I'd entertain a motion to continue this application to the May 20th meeting.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion on the motion? All right, I'll take the vote. Commissioner Walsh is yes. Commissioner Nardi?
Yes.
Commissioner Belton?
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland?
Yes.
Commissioner Finn?
Yes.
Commissioner Kroll?
Yes.
Okay, we'll continue that to the 20th to allow for public commentary, and we'll talk to you then. Okay.
Well, Commissioner Walsh, for the next three items, they fall under non-applicability. The commission typically wouldn't hear non-applicability matters. However, because they're receiving CPA grant funds through the city of Springfield,
yeah,
for transparency purposes, we wanted to put them on the agenda. So, folks had a chance to see, who is, I guess, who's receiving the grant funds and what work are they doing?
Okay, so this is 84 Westminster. Non-applicability. Oh, let's see what we got. Okay, application for a certificate of non-applicability, exterior painting, repair of broken shingles, repair, re-rope windows, replace storm windows as needed. The scope of the work is pressure wash, scrape, sand, all peeling, apply oil-based primer on any bare timber surfaces, repair broken shingles and patch rotted areas, caulk is needed, and paint entire structure. Complete removal of hardware, restoring a window sash, complete removal of hardware and glazing, scrape, sand existing paint smooth, inspect structural integrity of units, and remove rotted wood, fill open joints with Albatron epoxy consolidant and epoxy paste for structural integrity. Set and clamp, spot prime wood with alcohol oil-based primer, bed and reglaze. Paint as specified, 2 coats interior and exterior. Benmore Regal Select is recommended. Clean and return hardware for install that was requested. Re-rope and install. Add, replace 5 storms as needed. If any extensive repairs are needed, to be additional costs, including rotted wood. Okay. Do any commissioners have any? I mean, they're restoring existing windows. Any commissioners have any questions?
Good project.
Yeah, hearing none. Ms. Hines, do you want to add anything to this for us?
No, I have nothing to add.
Nothing?
I just, no.
I read that.
It's been a long, long time coming.
Okay, this, all right, so we just have to vote on this. We're, because it's not applicability. So I'd entertain a motion to accept the application for certificate of non-applicability, 84 Westminster Street, for the exterior painting and repair of broken shingles, repair, re-rope windows, and replace storm windows as needed.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded. Any discussion on the motion? Okay, let me call the roll. Commissioner Kroll,
Yes.
Commissioner Finn,
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland,
Yes.
Commissioner Belton,
Yes.
Commissioner Nardi. Did we lose Commissioner Nardi? Looks like we did. Commissioner Walsh is yes. And I'm going to back up one. Commissioner McFarland, did I not call you in the last vote on Chestnut Street? Oh, no, I see what I did. Okay, never mind. Just put your vote in the wrong place. Commissioner Nardi, are you not there? Oh, there I see. Al, are you there?
Stated earlier, he was having some connection issues.
Okay, well, that's continued, approved anyways. So continue to the next meeting.
No, it's not continued.
I mean, this is approved as non-applicable. Sorry, there. That's why I need you there, Alvin, all the time.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Congratulations.
All right, and then we have Campus Place. This is also an application for certificate of non-applicability. Painting and replacing of boards that are rotted. Let's see.
So the property owner is not on the call, but if you guys feel like you have enough information, you can certainly move forward.
Okay. Now this is issued a certificate of non-applicability to the following property. Replace rotted clappers where needed. No change in design or material. That's already been issued. What are we doing this time?
For 8 Campus Place.
Am I in the right? Am I mixing my stuff up there? This is 8 Campus Place.
Yep.
So this is not painting and replacing the board that rotted.
They already have a certificate in the file.
What I'm reading right now, the Springfield Special Municipal issued a certificate of non-applicability for the following property: 8 Campbell Place, replace rotted clapboards where needed, paint exterior home, no change in design or material. March 18th.
Okay. Well, again, we have to put these up for transparency purposes. So.
Yeah, I think that, I think this one we probably, I see what where we're going. I mean, we want to make sure that this gets properly publicly recorded.
Mm-hmm.
And so we can take another vote on this. Why not, for non-applicability? So I'd entertain a motion to accept the application for a certificate of non-applicability at 8 Campus Place, painting and replacing the board that rotted.
So moved.
So moved.
Okay. First, we had to thank you, Commissioner Kroll and Commissioner Belton. Any discussion on the motion? Okay, Commissioner Kroll,
Yes.
Commissioner Finn,
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland, Bryan, Commissioner.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Belton,
Yes.
Commissioner Nardi, and Commissioner Walsh. So that's approved as non-applicability. Pen. All right, now we have 93 Bodwin.
Or the property owner for this petition also is not on the call. However, again, if you guys have enough information, you can certainly move forward with approval of non-applicability.
Sure, let me just go through it. Application for certificate of non-applicability. Let's see what they're. Restore 3 window balconies in front of the home, railing post brackets, no change in design or material. Design and material same as original, based on 1930s picture. Okay. This is just to paint the house, though. So this is not applicability.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, can anybody hear me?
Yeah, we got you. You're back.
Yay, okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Thank you.
Okay, this is just to affirm the non-applicability of an application to paint the house at 43 Bodwin, or is it 93? 93 Bodwin.
93.
There's nothing in there that indicates to me it should be anything other than non-applicability. Any other commissioners?
I agree.
Okay, so I'd entertain a motion to accept the application for certificate of non-applicability at 93 Bowden to paint the house.
So moved.
Second.
Yeah, thank you. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I'll call the roll. Commissioner Kroll,
Yes.
Commissioner Finn,
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland,
Yes.
Commissioner Belton,
Yes.
Commissioner Nardi,
Yes.
and Commissioner Walsh is yes. Who does not? What's next here? Now this is, all right, does this even have an app in it? It does not.
So the last item on the agenda is before you guys because 6 months ago, the property owner received a letter of extension to resolve the front porch. The property owner, well, the property owner's on the call now, and they can kind of go through, I guess, what they need to move forward. But I had them come back before the commission because that 6 months of extension had expired.
Oh, okay, all right. Thank you. Ms. Brown, would you like to update us on your project?
Well, good evening, everybody. Thank you guys for waiting patiently. I know the time is far spent.
Well, thank you for waiting patiently.
Well, you know, since the last meeting, I did reach out to some more people for contracts to see if I could get pricing. I was only able to get one, and I applied for the historic grant for help for the cost, because the costs really have gone up since the pandemic, with the scarcity of materials and access and stuff. So I got that, but I did not get selected, in the lottery. So as it stands right now, I have to, I'm hoping to be able to come up with the balance needed to begin the project, hopefully in the next, 3 to 6 months. I didn't expect the quote to be so high, but that's really the nature and what it is. So I even tried to get a refinance, but it's kind of like the same thing. There's not a lot of equity in fixing. It needs to be fixed safety wise, but
How much time do you think you're going to need?
I'm hoping I would love to have it done this fall.
Okay.
But I need the summer to save up some more money to be able to afford to do so.
Okay. Any commissioners have any questions of the petitioner? Let me just state, I have no issue. I think that an extension would be appropriate in this situation. And, but I would entertain a motion that we grant an extension of how long? Would 1 year be too long? Anybody?
No.
I would think it appropriate because of the implications of COVID, the amount of inflation with building materials right now, and the impact on contractors.
Right, and I think that Ms. Brown is making a really legitimate effort here to try and do something for her own home. And I think that, in my opinion, we should grant an extension of a year at least. And then, you never know, in the next year, you might get some done, some not. Just come back and let us know where you stand. But let me see that I can get this to a vote and extend for a year, if that would be okay. Okay. And that's all we need is an extension, right, Alvin?
That's correct.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion to extend for 1 year.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All right, any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, let's start at the top this time. Commissioner Walsh votes yes. Commissioner Nardi?
Yes.
Commissioner Belton?
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland?
Yes.
Commissioner Finn?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, thank you. And Commissioner Kroll?
Yes.
Okay, all right, we give you that. And thank you for trying so hard. Just keep trying, okay?
Well,
thank you, Ms. Brown.
appreciate you guys.
Okay.
Good luck.
Okay. Do we have any other business before us? I have one more file here. What is it? Oh, I see. Okay. Is there anything else in front of us?
Nope, that's it.
Anything else, Alvin, that you need to straighten me out on? No? If not, I would entertain that fabulous motion to adjourn.
No move.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Great to see all you guys tonight.
Thank you all for your service. I appreciate you all.